I'm sorry I've been missing, but the family cat had a surgery. Don't worry, it's cosmetic. He got breast implants. Just kidding. He had to get his royal jewels removed. But yeah, he's wearing his Elizabeth collar, which I think is so cute. You can see there that it's healing very well.
Well done. You're a good boy. Good boy.
So the trooping of the color happened today. Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel, Leilani of Barbados. We have a lot to discuss. Meghan and Harry were not in attendance, which should come as no surprise because they have a lot going on in their lives, all of which we should get into today. So before we get into all of the Harry and Meghan stuff, which is a lot, they have a lot on their large desk, which they work very hard from. Okay, but before we get into that, Lady Louise and her brother James, the Earl of Wessex, were also not in attendance, and everybody was freaking out and losing their minds over it, which I don't really understand because people be busy. Okay, they're not working royals, first of all. I think that we should all just relax. King Charles insists on slimming down of the royal family and the working roles and so on and so forth. So basically, this is what it looks like. I thought it was very touching and really sweet that their dad, Prince Edward, was able to ride alongside of King Charles in his first trooping of the color. I know most of you know this already, right? Because I know you guys, but for those who are new to this channel, the trooping of the color is basically a second birthday that the monarch gets. The monarch has always had a Saturday in June dedicated to their birthday. Whether they're born in April, like the Queen was born in April, or whether they're born in November, like King Charles, it doesn't matter. They're always going to do a June birthday so that they can have the parade. It was traditionally done because the weather is much better in June. Anyway, let's get to the royal family. They all look so beautiful. The children, of course, look so beautiful. You know, my favorite is Louis as well. He stole the show, apparently, waving to the crowd. Like, everyone loves him, which I'm so happy about because the Meghan sugars have been trying so hard to talk badly about this little boy, a child. It's unreal. Princess Catherine wore this beautiful green dress. For the occasion, the stylish royal Princess Catherine wore a lovely bright green ensemble comprised of a long-sleeved dress adorned with blue and silver square buttons by Singaporean designer Andrew Ng and a matching wide-brimmed hat by Philip Tracy. She completed the look with sapphire and diamond earrings that previously belonged to Princess Diana, as well as the Irish Guards' special gold shamrock brooch. The monochromatic look serves as an homage to the Irish Guards, of which Kate was named honorary colonel last year. The green ensemble also serves as a nod to the colours use of the flag of Wales. George, Charlotte and Louis completed the homage to the Wales flag by including red details in their own looks, much like me. Yeah. Catherine is the most beautiful and she's such a treat to always see her looking amazing. She was not the only one serving as colonel for the first time. Queen Camilla might have gone the extra mile this time. All she was missing was the bearskin hat, honey. Let me tell you. Fans go wild for Camilla's military-inspired red silk Fiona Clare dress. The designer went all out. And Queen Camilla was like, I'm about that life, bitch. Give me the whole uniform. I'm ready. And give me a plume too, just in case I have to block out Prince Harry's face out of the camera frame, like Princess Anne did. Queen Camilla's choice of outfit for today's trooping of the collar was a break from tradition. You don't say. Instead of a smart day dress, the royal wore a red outfit marking her new role as Colonel of the Grenadier Guards. Well, I'm saying, I love it. No, I love it coming from a country of carnival and costume and fancy dress, and we love all that stuff. I love that she's getting in the spirit and wearing basically the same uniform as the platoon that she is now colonel of. No, I liked it. I didn't think there was any stolen valor there. You know, she was not military. We all know that. But I think it was a really nice touch, and she paid homage to her role with her dress. Yeah, that's right. The Grenadier Guards, you can see here, they have a lot of tradition when it comes to their uniform, and they take it very seriously, as they should. Now, the only thing that I found really funny with this video was that this gentleman, who by the way is mixed race, a man of color, if you will, but he's talking about that they use Head and Shoulders, some of them, to clean their bearskin hats, which I found hilarious. One thing about this slimming down that has always nagged me in my mind is that I almost wonder if it was due to Meghan and Harry leaving the royal family. I wonder if King Charles took the initiative to say, okay, we're going to slim down the royal family after all. My son Harry has gone on an extended trip abroad. Trip. No pun intended, of course. I just wonder, have any of you ever thought of that? Please comment down below if you ever thought that the slimming down was due to their exit. Megxit, if you will. Okay, let's get to Meghan and Harry's debacles right now. Prince Harry left the UK after his terrible appearance in his court case. I think that Meghan must have been very upset and annoyed with how he presented himself in that court case, even though she herself has never had to sit on a stand and do what he did. Oh, did you just see that in the last B-roll? The flight attendant was given a very special gift by Prince Harry himself. It says, "Just found this in my luggage that a passenger gave to me." So apparently Prince Harry wants to spread the word about Spare. I would like my free copy because I watched the Gabor Mate interview. I had to purchase a copy of the Spare, which I didn't want to do because I already had one. But in order to get tickets to watch it, I had to purchase a Spare. Where's my free copy though? A lot of people are reporting that she was very upset with him and that he, in fact, trashed the room at his private hotel that he actually lives in because she was so upset with him. Okay, I mean, that's all speculation and alleged and so on, but you can see that he actually did a really bad job. And I think anyone close to him would have been upset with how poorly he performed. Okay, so now let's get into what Harry has waiting for him back in the United States. And I wanted to report on this for so long, but we had to wait. We have to wait for things sometimes. Unfortunately. Sometimes, you know something. Sometimes I just want to come on here and talk to you guys and tell you about how I feel and what I'm thinking. Can I just do that sometimes? Because I always have to wait for these decisions. And by the way, the mainstream media is being very careful with the Harkles. They are a very litigious couple and everybody's in court. They're suing everybody for reporting on them. So I can understand why it takes so long for these things to come out, because I've been sitting here saying, what is going on with the Department of Homeland Security? What is going on with the Heritage Foundation? Okay, the Heritage Foundation, it is a conservative think tank that is requesting to find out how Harry was able to get a visa to the United States with the substance abuse that he has admitted to publicly in Spare, right? And also on Dr. Gabor Mate's interview. And they decided to come to the Department of Homeland Security and ask a question. What did he say? Okay, so sources close to the Duke and Duchess are saying that he was very truthful on his application, as he should be. I mean, I don't know. I think that Harry is truthful in his own truth, if you know what I mean. But in regards to his therapy that is ongoing, they don't like that Harry and Meghan are purporting themselves to be Democrats basically, and talking a lot and being very woke and reprimanding people and coming from this voice of privilege, however, still telling people how to live their lives. They have a problem with that. Elections are coming up soon. This has got very political. So the think tank is saying, let us see the documents. Let us see the application. And basically it got shut down. And so this article is following up from the New York Post. That's where I first saw this reported that this was happening in Washington, D.C. Prince Harry scores victory in fight over whether he admitted drug use on immigration papers. And I think before you say boo, because Harry actually won this interrogation or this revelation of his application, before you say that, it is a victory for the English people because Harry will not be deported back to the United Kingdom. And so that is great. We don't have to deal with him, right? So let's look at the glass half full rather than half empty. In any case, basically they were saying that the right to privacy trumps the freedom of information. The think tank, because of freedom of information, they should be able to see what Harry was actually saying in his application, and that drug use and things like that could get you refused. And was he given special treatment? He has an O1 visa. Oh, by the way, they don't know what kind of visa he has. Listen, I don't know why people have such short memories. I remember right after the Oprah interview that it was declared that Harry had an O1 visa, a special person's visa for very extraordinary people. Right now, Hugh Jackman has one. Justin Bieber has one. He's Canadian, Justin Bieber. Hugh Jackman, I believe, is Australian. And these are the people that get these kind of visas. No one ever mentioned that he was married to Meghan, who's an American citizen, and that would be the easiest way to get admission to the United States through marriage. which is something I've talked about extensively. And I thought that was very strange that they did not go down that road, because that's the cleanest way to do it. And now they're saying they don't know. We don't know really and truly what kind of visa he really has. Okay, he has a O1 visa. All right, let's just say that. In fact, you can see here that he has now retooled his LinkedIn to include a political commentator, darling, foreign policy speaker, celebrity, headliner, and humanitarian, of course. Prince Harry, Duke of Sussex biography. Prince Harry began his military career, and it's all about that. Is trying to put him in a higher level to say that he deserves this O1 visa. Do we have to talk about Justin Bieber and how much success he's had? Do we have to talk about Hugh Jackman? I think it's very obvious that Hugh Jackman and Justin Bieber, O1 visa holders, are, number one, truly adored because of their work. And that's the second point. Number two, they work. They work on movie sets and in studios producing number one records. I mean, thank you for your service in the UK Army, Prince Harry, but what work do you do in the United States of America for them to grant you such an honorary visa? Can you compare that with Prince Harry just coming to Montecito, chilling in a hotel room and doing alternative treatments? I have to be very careful. And running around talking a lot of nonsense. The judge did say that this is a final decision on it, but I do think his visa will still be reassessed. He does have a new application coming up because it's been 3 years since he's been here, so he does have to reapply for a visa. And if his status changes to marriage or whatever, that has to be redone. There's a possibility of a medical examination, thorough medical examination, in order to get a new visa. Another piece of information I've been eagerly awaiting is all the cancellations, the Archetypes thing. Oh yeah, and the fake Dior collab. Meghan Markle not teaming up with Dior as she reportedly eyes another luxury brand. Whatever. Apparently the rumors are not true. Meghan Markle does not have any plans to sign a major deal with French luxury fashion house Dior, according to Page 6. This is Meghan trying to act as a model in some crappy 2015 film called Antisocial. I think if Dior saw this, they would have given Meghan a hard pass. And so this footage has been dug up by Reddit to say, like, can you imagine if she had to do this for Dior? And you can see the reactions online. Oh wow, I've never seen that little morsel of cringe, Muffy says. This is really bad makeup and acting, Great Gossip added. And just as icing on the cake, Camilla, who continues to endear herself as our queen, decided to wear Dior at Ascot horse racing a couple days ago. She really is turning out to be on our wavelength, huh? What a slap in the face to Meghan trying to fake a Dior sponsorship for clout. Who comes up with this? Just lies on top of lies on top of lies. I don't know how Meghan Markle's PR comes up with these stunts. I don't know if it's because I noticed that Harry was wearing Dior to court, and I don't know if they just ran with that and decided, well, let's pretend we're getting a sponsorship from them, because a lot of people reported that he is wearing head to toe Dior. So I don't know if they just dreamed a dream a la Susan Boyle. Remember her? I dreamed a dream in time gone by. Or what happened in their minds, but it's just so insane to me that these are actual people that want to be taken seriously. The Daily Mail reported that Markle was possibly out to become the Duchess of Dior and the face of the company. A spokesperson for the Sussexes has now confirmed that it is not the case. However, Markle is potentially interested in signing a deal with the French jewelry company Cartier. That's not happening. Okay. Finally, we now have information on that. So let me go on ahead and give you my take on it. Okay. I don't have to sit through another Archetypes, Stereotypes, podcast. I don't have to do it anymore. It's been cancelled, honey. They told her, no, we are no longer in a relationship. What did they said? Hold on, let me just find out what they said. They said, we are parting ways with you, Meghan. I just want to tell you that based on what I listened to and what I analyzed, and you must go back if you want to, I implore you, go back and look at my reviews of the podcast episodes. I covered most of them. It must be quite confusing when you've received a Gracie Award for your podcast, when you've received a People's Choice Award for your podcast, that you get cancelled. That doesn't make any sense, right? Unless, of course, if you bought those awards. But we have to say alleged. We have to say alleged when it's very obvious. Listen, anyway, look, let me stop. I am actually really happy that I don't have to sit through Meghan's, in her own words, unconscious bias anymore. Meghan sought to undo the stereotypes of women. But because of her lack of empathy, experience as an interviewer, and just her lack of giving a damn about anyone besides herself, all she did was reinforce said stereotypes. She stereotyped, cast-typed every single guest she had on her show. It takes a very experienced interviewer to walk that thin line between exposing unfair interpretation of a group and reinforcing that interpretation. Meghan failed to do the former and ended up just doing the latter. The podcast needed to be cancelled for the sake of humanity. As we found out, she rarely and barely interviewed her subjects. What she relied on to pad the 50 minutes, each podcast was about 50 minutes long. 50. What she relied upon was post-production monologues. That's why I think it should have been called a podcast, and not archetypes, but stereotypes. So let me explain. What she did was rarely interview her guests and then add in commentary, post-production, when the guests were not there to defend themselves, thereby creating her own narrative for their lives. I think one of the ones that really stands out for me is the Paris Hilton interview, where Paris constantly kept saying, I made this huge mistake of painting myself as a dumb blonde and putting on this baby voice.
I can either talk in like my normal voice, or sometimes I talk in like a baby voice when I'm shy or like doing a TV show.
How did that come about?
Well, when I first got offered to do The Simple Life, the producers told me to play a character. They wanted me to be very airhead and talk in this baby voice. And I didn't realize that the show would have to last for 5 years.
Right,
so I
yeah.
had to continue doing this character, and I guess I just got used to it.
Now I'm into crypto and finance and NFTs and whatever, and I'm trying to be taken seriously. And Meghan kept saying, no, but I idealized you. I loved you. I wanted to be part of your crowd because you were the in crowd when you talked in that baby voice and you were so cool. And Paris keeps saying, literally, I'm done with that. And keeps trying to argue this case with Meghan. And Meghan has absolutely no empathy for her. She does not try to big her up as a responsible person in society or anything like that. Her response to being cancelled is, Meghan Markle issues blunt response after Spotify pulls plug on podcast. Following the cancellation, a spokeswoman for the Archwell Productive Media Company, it's no longer a charity, if you notice. Anyway, the team behind Archetypes remain proud of the podcast they created at Spotify. Meghan is continuing to develop more content for the Archetypes audience on another platform. The team which walked away on her. Archetypes team, which Meghan was working with, literally walked away. They all quit. So she's just going to lie and say, we're really proud, the team and everybody. What team? They're gone. They couldn't take you anymore. Here's my advice to anybody who's going to go on this new platform that she's going to be putting out Archwell content on. Here's my advice to you, all of you out here. If anyone's actually listening to me, but please share this video and like it, because we have to let people know. Do not do anything with Meghan Markle unless it's a live stream, honey. Because she will F you up in the end. She really made people walk out of her podcast thinking more about the stereotypes and the biases they had towards people of color, women of descent, of this descent and that descent. And that's because that's how she feels. And so she was able to put that in, those end notes into everything, and it twisted the whole. So not only was she a bad interviewer that could not deal with this sensitive content, but in fact, her real feelings were, she fetishized Asian women, really gross. Look, she made Black women look angrier and crazier than it started out looking when she went into the podcast. It was really, really bad. And I'm not surprised. I thought I was crazy because I was like, why is she getting all these awards? How can anybody be eating this up? This world needs saving. This world is in problems if they want to listen to this podcast and her do this bad job. Anyway, that's not the case. She got a lot of traction because people expected a lot of her. And she didn't deliver. That's it. And the only reason why people expected a lot of her is because a lot of Americans don't understand she only spent 18 months in the royal family, learned nothing, rejected everything. They were thinking she was coming with some kind of poison grace and some intellect. And that's just, when you quickly look at things, you say, look, Meghan Markle married to Prince, royal family. Okay, let's see what she has to say. But if you really were following the story, you knew that she was a disaster there in that family. And she was a disaster there in America as well. And that's one deal gone wrong. More to come, I suspect. Oh, look, here's another blow. Speaking of the Archetypes brand, Meghan and Harry hit with new blow over Archetypes trademark after Spotify deal ends. The Duke and Duchess of Sussex's filing to trademark the podcast title has been rejected by the US Patent and Trademark Office, the Mirror reports. The royals aim to get exclusive use of Archetypes for downloadable audio recordings and podcasts, and anything related to the cultural treatment of women and stereotypes facing women. That's a very broad because of the likelihood of confusion with an existing brand of the same name. Yes, the Arizona-based company Archetypes LLC applied for exclusive use in 2015 for books and articles about nutrition, fitness, sexuality, and psychological self-improvement. Okay, you got boofed. That's what we call a boof in the Caribbean. Unbelievable. Yeah, so I think that's basically all I can cover today in terms of them. But I think they've silenced themselves at this point. But in Synopsis, they've lost a lot of deals, which means they can lose more. They don't have their family anymore, the royal family. That's the biggest takeaway, that they have lost that. I mean, imagine watching these beautiful people dressed up, enjoying themselves, all of this pomp and circumstance. And imagine how Meghan feels not having her children in a carriage and also getting cancelled at the same time. Like, her deal's cancelled. By the way, I had some private messages from you guys telling me that I should cover the Trump case because his indictment is the biggest case of the century and all of that. And I do love court cases. And so some of you were like, I know you like court cases. Why didn't you cover Trump? I have to recuse myself because, and you're not going to believe this, Judge Aileen Cannon was in my class at school. I know you're not going to believe it, okay? Because you're going to say, oh, first you know Hugh Grant, then you knew Simon Cowell. Oh, now you know the judge on the Trump case. I literally did. I did go to school with her. She was in my class. Let me know, please, down in the comments if you want me to talk about Judge Aileen Cannon. Please let me know because I'm biased. She's my best friend, actually. No, I'm just kidding. She's not. She's not my best friend, but I was in school with her and nobody's going to believe it, but I will prove it to you. I will. And, I feel kind of bad for her because she's not as successful as me. Like, I have a YouTube channel and I have all you guys, and like, she's just like a judge on the biggest trial in the century. And I know that might sound like a big deal, but it's really not compared to my YouTube channel. You know what I mean? So, Team Aileen, I guess. So... I'm sorry. I should have stopped this video a long time ago. Goodbye. I love you. Love you. Bye. But it's true. She's my friend. Like, she's actually my friend. Okay. Bye. Love you.